I used to feel invisible at 48, 49. At 52, I feel more like myself than I have in decades. It wasn't therapy. It wasn't a mindset shift. It was 10 specific habits. Let's get into it. Hi, I'm Lisette, and if you're new here, I help women in midlife glow up through fashion, mindset, and lifestyle. If this is your vibe, hit that subscribe button. Number one, move your body, not for looks, but for how it feels. The most powerful act of self-love isn't buying expensive skincare or getting a new haircut, though those help at times. It's moving your body in a way that makes you feel powerful. At 50, most women stop moving altogether. They think the time for physical strength has passed, or they start moving to burn calories or tone up, which ties every workout to appearance. That's backwards. When you lift weights, when you take a walk and you feel your legs carry you without pain, when you can open a jar or carry your groceries without help, that's the moment your relationship with your body shifts. That's not vanity, that's freedom. You don't have to become a gym person, but you need something that makes your body feel capable. Strength training, yoga, Pilates, dancing in your kitchen, a daily walk that's long enough to clear your head. That's when the magic happens. When you start doing it for how it feels, not for how it looks. Your mood lifts, your sleep improves, your posture straightens because you're literally stronger. And suddenly, when you catch yourself in a mirror, you don't see someone who's aging. You see someone who's building. Start small, commit to 20 minutes of movement that you actually enjoy, 4 to 5 times a week. Not because you have to, but because you want to feel what your body is capable of. We need to be so grateful for our body and for movement. Number 2, build a capsule wardrobe that fits your body now. Most women at 50 are still wearing clothes for the body they used to have or the body they think they should have. And every morning they lose a little bit of confidence, putting on something that doesn't fit right, that makes them feel invisible. A capsule wardrobe isn't about trends or rules. You guys know I talk about this a lot. It's about showing up in the pieces that actually fit your body today and make you feel intentional. This means quality basics in neutral colors that can mix and match endlessly. A blazer that makes you feel powerful. A jean that fits your body now. Not a smaller size, not a larger size. One great leather jacket. Pieces that are simple enough to layer, expensive enough to last, and fitted well enough that you feel like yourself. When everything in your closet works together and fits your actual body, getting dressed becomes a confidence builder instead of a confidence killer. You stop thinking about what you're wearing. You just feel put together. And that feeling, that sense of intentionality radiates outwards. Start small, pick one basic piece that fits your body perfectly and makes you feel like yourself, and build from there. Remember, quality over quantity always. Number 3, this is important. Speak to yourself like you are speaking to a friend. The voice in your head at 50 is often brutal, that inner critic. You're too old for that. Look at your face. Nobody wants to hear what you have to say. You're not good enough. You would never say these things to a friend, yet you say them to yourself dozens of times a day. Affirmations alone don't work because they feel false when you don't believe them yet. I do love affirmations. They do have their place. But noticing when you're being cruel to yourself and consciously choosing a different thought. We need to quiet that inner critic. We need to shut them up. It's not just about positive thinking or pretending everything else is fine. It's about neutral curiosity. When you catch yourself saying, I'm told for that, pause and ask yourself, is that actually true? Or is that fear talking? When you're criticizing your appearance, ask, would I judge my best friend this harshly? This shift from self-criticism to self-curiosity changes everything. You're not lying to yourself about how great you are. You are just refusing to believe the lies your inner critic has been telling you about how bad you are. Start small. For 1 week, Notice every time you criticize yourself. Don't change anything yet. Just notice. Once you see the pattern, you can interrupt it. Number 4, get honest about your time and your priorities. In midlife, you finally know what matters, and yet you're probably still spending time on things that don't. We can all relate to this. Saying yes to things you don't want to do. Maintaining relationships that drain you. Doing work that doesn't fulfill you. Feeling good about yourself is impossible when you're running on a treadmill of everyone else's expectations. One of the most powerful moments in rebuilding confidence in midlife is realizing I get to choose. You get to say no. You get to invest in the people who show up for you. You get to leave situations that make you small. You get to prioritize the parts of your life that actually light you up. This isn't selfish, it's survival, and it's revolutionary. Start small. This week, identify one thing you're doing out of obligation, not joy. Ask yourself, what would change if I said no to this? The answer might surprise you. Number 5, find your people, the one who sees you. Invisibility is partly about how you see yourself, but it's also about who you're around. If you're spending time with people who don't ask how you're really doing, who don't see your growth, who make you feel like you have to shrink, you're going to feel invisible. It's not your fault, it's theirs. Find your people. Friendships in midlife might look different than it did in your 30s. You're not looking for fun. Well, we're looking for fun too, but we're mostly looking for realness. For people who ask real questions, who celebrate your wins without jealousy, who tell you the truth even when it's uncomfortable, who see you, the real, imperfect, evolving version of you. These people might be online, they might be in a fitness class, they might be at church, they might be a neighbor you've known for years, but finally got close to them. They might be 1 or 2 people instead of a whole group. Quality is everything. When you have even one person, one who truly sees you, confidence starts to return because you're no longer trying to be invisible. Someone's looking right at you and they still like what they see. Start small. Reach out to one person this week who makes you feel seen, not obligation, but connection. See what happens. Quick pause. If this is landing for you and you're really finding this helpful, hit that subscribe button. Most people watching aren't subscribed, and that's what helps me keep making this type of content. So if you're not subscribed, hit that button. So number 6, do the hard things you've been avoiding. There's something you know you should do. Start that project. Have that hard conversation. Set that boundary. Leave the situation. Begin that thing you said you'd do someday. But here's what actually destroys confidence. Avoiding things you know matter. It just does. Every time you don't do the hard thing, you send yourself a message. You're not worth it. You're not worth fighting for, and you believe it a little bit more every time. Confidence doesn't come from a perfect life. It comes from standing up to the life you have and saying, I'm doing this anyways. It comes from trying and failing and trying again. It comes from proving to yourself that you're capable of hard things, because we are. Please just do it. Start small. Identify one hard thing you've been avoiding. The smallest, most manageable version of it. And do that thing this week. Not next month, but this week. See how different you feel afterwards. Number 7, invest in the basics. Skincare, hair, nails. This might sound shallow after talking about all the inner work, but here's the truth. When you look in the mirror and see someone who's taken care of, you feel different about yourself. You just do. You don't need expensive anything, but you need consistency. A simple skincare routine that takes less than 5 minutes in the morning and at night. A hair that's styled in a way that makes you feel like yourself. Not trying to look like we're 30, but like yourself. Nails that are clean, maybe painted a neutral color that you love. These aren't vanity projects. They are proof that you are worth the effort. So start small. Pick one thing. Is it going to be skincare, hair maintenance, getting your nails done? You can do them yourself. Commit to consistency for 1 month. Notice how you feel. Number 8, speak about yourself differently in conversations. Listen to how you talk. Listen to how you talk about yourself when you're with other people. Do you apologize for taking up space? Do you minimize your accomplishments? Do you make self-deprecating jokes before anyone else can criticize you? How you talk about yourself is how you teach people to see you. I caught myself doing this just recently. Someone asked me what my goal was for posting, and instead of stating my mission clearly, I felt embarrassed. I felt belittled. I said, "Oh, I'm just sharing, my playbook and my journal." Just that word right there. But here's what I should have said. I help women in midlife rebrand through fashion, mindset, and lifestyle through a method I created called the Her Rebrand Method. Period. I needed to be confident. No apology, no shrinking. It happens to all of us. We get uncomfortable. We downplay what we are doing. We make ourselves smaller so other people feel comfortable. But every time you do that, you're telling yourself and everyone listening that you don't really believe in what you're doing. That's how I felt after when I was thinking about it. If you say, "I'm just sharing," or "it's nothing major," or minimize what you've built, people see you that way. They take you less serious. But more importantly, you start believing it. In midlife, you get to speak about yourself with authority, not arrogance. Instead of apologizing for existing, take up space. State what you do, state who you help, state why it matters, say it like you mean it. So start small. For 1 week, notice how you talk about yourself. Write down 3 phrases you use all the time that minimize or belittle what you're doing. Then consciously choose different language. Speak about yourself like you're talking about someone you respect. Number 9, create a daily non-negotiable, something just for you. In midlife, most women have spent decades doing for everyone else: kids, partners, career, the house, and somewhere in there, yourself got filed under maybe if there's time. There's never time. Time is created by deciding something matters so much that you protect it. For me, my non-negotiables are simple. I journal every morning, meditation, read the Bible, a walk, and time with books. Not because they're productive or efficient, not because they look good on Instagram, but because they feed my soul. They keep me grounded. They remind me who I am when the world is trying to tell me who I should be. Journaling clears my head. Meditation quiets the noise. A walk gets me outside of my own thoughts. Reading the Bible centers me spiritually. And reading, just losing myself in a story or an idea, reminds me that there's a whole world beyond my to-do list. These aren't luxuries, they're my non-negotiables, which means I do them before I do anything else. Before the emails, before messages, before obligations. The magic isn't in the specific activity, it's in the message you're sending yourself. I matter enough to have time for me every single day. When you have one non-negotiable thing that's just for you, you carry yourself differently. You feel like a person, again, not just a role. Your non-negotiables might be different from mine. Maybe it's painting or music or time in nature or a hobby you loved and stopped doing. Whatever feeds your soul, whatever reminds you that you exist for reasons beyond taking care of other people. Start small. What's something you love doing that you've stopped doing, or something you've always wanted to do but never made time for it? Start doing it, even if it's just for 5 to 10 minutes a day. Protect that time like you protect your job, because your soul depends on it. Number 10, stop waiting for permission to begin. This is the big one. In midlife, most women are waiting to be thin enough to wear what they want, waiting until life calms down, waiting until their kids are grown, waiting until their partner notices them, waiting for their bank accounts to get bigger. Here's what nobody tells you: permission never comes. It doesn't. The moment is never perfect. There's never a good time. You're never going to feel completely ready. Life never calms down. You get to begin now exactly as you are, with the body you have today, with the money in your bank account today, with the time you have available today with the confidence you're building, not the confidence you think you should have. Start small. Ask yourself, what am I waiting for? Write down the answer. Then ask, what would I do differently if I didn't have to wait for that? And do that thing. Just do it. Here's what I know. Confidence doesn't come from affirmations or positive thinking. It comes from doing. From the small choices repeated daily that prove to yourself that you're worth the effort. These 10 ways work best when they work together. Movement, wardrobe, community, self-care, boundaries, honest conversations. All of them are layered, creating a foundation of self-respect that nothing can shake. The challenge is that rebuilding all 3 pillars at once, fitness, style, and mindset, can feel overwhelming. If you want a structured system that walks you through this, the Her Rebrand Playbook is a 30-day guide designed specifically for women in midlife who are ready to stop waiting and to start building. It gives you the framework, the daily actions, and the accountability to make this real. But whether you use the playbook or not, the work starts now. I want to end with this because it's the thing I needed to hear at 49. You're not running out of time. You're not past your prime. You're not too old to start over. You're not too old to feel good about yourself or become the woman you want to be. In fact, 50 might be the most powerful time in your life. You know who you are. You've stopped caring about approval. You understand what matters. You're done shrinking. That's not a limitation. That's a superpower, in my opinion. So, ladies, the work starts now, not next week, when you have more time, not next year, not when things settle down. Now, with the body you have today, with the life you're living today, the person you are today, start with one of these 10, just one. Pick the one that calls to you the most. Do that thing for a week. Feel how different it makes you feel. Then pick another, and you build from there. You are worth the effort. You always were. And in midlife, you finally get to believe it. Remember, you're not too old and it's not too late. Your rebrand is just getting started. I'll see you in the next video.